Well, we are very excited to welcome Dave Hakstol live onto the show right now. First off, congratulations. My first question might be a silly one, but I'm going to ask it anyways. How well did you sleep last night? I imagine you were very excited about today's announcement.
Okay, I slept great. Unfortunately, it was only until about 4 o'clock in the morning with the time change. So it was up early, but had a great couple hours of sleep and was excited for the day today.
Well, hey, listen, we all have to deal with these different things, but you've made it this far, so congratulations again on getting the gig, and I'm sure you'll catch up on that sleep at some point. But let me ask you about this process, because I'm always curious about how these things go, in particular with an expansion franchise, which has a lot of time to kind of look and see which way they want to go. When did they first contact you, and how did you find out that eventually you were the choice?
You know, EJ, we talked. Ron and I had talked, about a year ago. With the dates during the pause and the bubble and things like that, things run together a little bit. But we had touched base and talked about a year ago, and then obviously as our season came to an end this year, Ron got into the interview process here. Our discussions began again. So we were fortunate. We spent about a month together back in 2019 during the World Championships over in Košice. And that was a great opportunity to be able to get to know one another.
Kelly here. Congratulations on the job. You've got coaching experience at a lot of different levels, obviously. Wondering, as a coach, coming into a situation where you're going to be working with an expansion team, you're not sure who the players are going to be, how that's going to be different for you than approaching a lot of other different jobs you've had in your career.
Well, it's, everybody's new. You're not adding 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 new players to your dressing room. It's a completely new group. So, the entire structure of the team will really be built from the ground up. And, one of the most important parts of that is going to be your leadership core, your leadership structure. We get through the expansion draft and a bit beyond that. Those are some of the things that are going to come together. And as I said, I think that core leadership group is going to be a huge part of bringing things together, as quickly as we're going to need to do it as we get into training camp.
I'm going to follow up on that. Obviously, we don't know what this team is going to look like in terms of the roster yet, but what do you hope the identity of the Seattle Kraken will be in terms of the way this team is going to play?
Well, we want to be a group of guys that are every day and show up every day. Guys that love coming to the rink. Guys that are going to play hard for one another and go out and compete. Seattle is a really passionate sports town. The fans here historically are some of the best fans in pro sports, and we want to put a product on the ice that we are proud of and that they're extremely proud of. We want to give them a great, exciting event right from the drop of the puck on game number 1.
Dave, as guys go into a second NHL job, I always think, hey, it's like anything in life. You're better prepared. You're better ready. You learn things in that first go-around. You've coached a long time, but coaching at the NHL level is very different. We heard you talk about that today. Can you give me one particular thing that either you were surprised at in Philadelphia during your start there, or that you really learned in that time that will make a difference for you this time around?
EJ, it's all in the little details. Everything is a little bit different. And, right from, I'll give you an example. My first training camp in Philadelphia, I'd never run an NHL training camp before. And you can look for advice from everybody around you. And we had great people in and around, and I was fortunate to have really good people to work with. But until you go through it, experience it, and have the opportunity to run things and operate, with the way you want to do it, and through those experiences, it's just that it's your first time going through. So you learn a little bit with everything that you do. I did, in every sense, during my time in Philadelphia, and those are, just like any experience, you take those and you apply them as you move forward.
Hey, Dave, I'm sure there's Seattle Kraken fans watching right now. So what are your early impressions of the city of Seattle, where you're obviously going to be spending a lot of time coming up?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I haven't had a lot of time to spend, in and around town, but just the energy of the city, everybody that we've met. I've a good fortune to have my wife and my son here with me. It's been phenomenal from the time we've gotten on the ground. Everywhere we've been, everywhere we've met. It's an absolute beautiful city. It's an unbelievable setting in terms of the facilities that are being put in place here. And like I said, the energy of the city is awesome.
All right, Dave, let's get to the important questions, all right? What's going on with the goatee? I mean, we have all this footage of you in Philly. You know, you're very clean-shaven. You know, you're a young-looking Dave Hakstol. And now you're like, you got the goatee. A little bit of a grittier look.
DJ, I went to Toronto this year on my own, so I didn't have anybody that tell me I had to shave. 2 weeks into quarantine, I ended up with this.
Yeah, everyone looks different.
That's right.
Like post-quarantine pandemic world.
It looks good.
Yeah, I like it.
I was like, when I saw you today in the presser, I was like, are we sure that's him? But it is.
Hey, trying to be incognito, sliding into town yesterday. It worked.
Hey, it did work. I'll ask you one more, Dave. Obviously, we are in the midst of the Stanley Cup playoffs right now. I'm not sure how much hockey you've been able to watch. Obviously, you've been working with the Seattle Kraken on this new job. But the Montreal Canadiens, 1 win away from going to the Stanley Cup final. They're taking on Vegas tonight. What have you made of their run this postseason? Have you had a chance to watch it?
Yeah, I've watched as much as I can, and I haven't been able to watch every game, but they're on an impressive run. They're playing as a complete team, and hard to play against in every sense. And we've got 2 great series going right now, and I'll pull up a chair and be watching it here in a couple of hours.
All right. Well, listen, we appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. I'm sure you had a lot of requests today, so we appreciate you. Congratulations again, and best of luck at the expansion draft and, of course, next season.
That's right, and to your family as well on the new home.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. Awesome to be on today, and I'll look forward to seeing you again.
All right.